Hey, what it do, Sports World, and welcome to the Real Untouchable Podcast with me, Ray Diggs. Man, I got a great segment for you all. I want to talk about, the top four has been announced, and I'm going to give you all my honest opinion on the top four after I go through every team. I'm going to give you all my opinion on every one of these teams right here. And then I'm going to talk about number five and number six, and then we're going to end it as that. But listen, this right here is going to be my last podcast for a while. As you all know, I'm getting ready to move here. In the next week, I will be moving from Korea to my next duty station. So, I won't be able to. Of course, I'm going to be able to come on here and record, but I won't have my backdrops. It'll pretty much just be the generic, basic podcast as I get ready to transition to my next my next destination. Okay, but hey, like I said, we're going to talk about the college football playoff, the top four, and also the number five and number six. Okay, before I get started, hey, make sure y'all hit the like button, the subscribe button, and also the share button. Okay, and hey, if you got any feedback about this segment, about this segment, make sure you all put it in the comment section. All right. So hey, let's go ahead and jump into this thing. All right. And everybody know the college football playoffs pretty much announced the top four. Coming in at number one, we have the Michigan Wolverines. All right, the undefeated Michigan Wolverines coming in at 13-0. Okay. Number two, we have the Washington Huskies out of the Pac-12. They are also 13-0. All right. At number three, we have the 12-1 Texas Longhorn come out of the Big 12. And at number four, we have the Alabama Crimson Tide at 12-1 coming out of the SEC, the SEC champion. Okay. At number five, we have Florida State, the Florida State Seminoles. They are also 13-0. And at number six, we have the Georgia Bulldogs, the defending national champions that won't get a chance to defend their title this year, coming in at 12-1 as well. Okay. Now, we're going to talk about the number one team is Michigan. Do Michigan deserve it? I say they're undefeated. They're out of the Big Ten. Have they had a terrible schedule? Have they played against a lot of terrible competition? Yes, they have. But at the end of the day, they went undefeated. They beat everybody. So I guess they deserve it. And also, they beat the number three team, which would be Ohio State. And they beat them at the right time. Okay, so I guess they deserve to be number one. All right. I would say Washington may have a case to be number one. They're number two because Washington's played against better competition. They played against USC and Oregon. They beat Oregon twice. Okay, so they beat a lot of quality teams in the Pac-12 with Oregon State. So, when I look at Michigan's record and them only playing two top 25 teams, well, they actually played three, which would be Iowa, but they went the first 9 weeks without playing a ranked team. Then they played against Penn State. Okay, they played Maryland the next week. Then they play Ohio State. Then they played against Iowa, which I feel like Iowa was one of the most overrated teams in college football. Same thing I would say about Louisville. So, but they're the number one team. Okay, so they're the number one team in the BCS. Number two, Washington. Like I said, Washington has beaten quality teams. They beat Oregon twice. That's really, really good. Those are really good teams. Okay, and also they won the Pac-12. So they beat Oregon State. Oregon State also is in the top 25. Okay, so they beat them. So that is at least 3 top 25 teams. Okay, and like I said, they've been playing really, really good. The body of work has been good all season for this Washington team. They beat everybody that they had to beat. So I would say they deserve to be at number one or number two. But those are the top two teams with number one Michigan, number two Washington. Let's go to number three with Texas, the Big 12 champion. They are basically living off of that win at Alabama in week 2. That is the only reason why this team made the college football playoff. Now, this team right here beat Alabama at Alabama by 10. I give them that. Even though I feel like this Alabama team right now is totally different. But you go to Alabama, you beat them. Okay, you should be ahead of them, I guess. But because of what Alabama went through, and then also you lose against Oklahoma. Oklahoma State beat Oklahoma. Oklahoma State lost to UCF and South Alabama. So should they have even been in the Big 12 championship game? I say no. I think this right here was the terrible. The Big 10 and Big 12 had these two teams playing against, really good teams. And honestly, they would benefited off beating the brakes off of these two bad teams, which was Iowa and Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State I saw from the beginning that Oklahoma State didn't deserve to be in the college football. Didn't deserve to be in the Big 12 championship because basically they quit on their coach at halftime. So, and basically, I never seen a defense more. I never seen a terrible defense like this defense right here in college football all season, besides maybe Colorado. Okay, so let's talk about the Alabama Crimson Tide getting in at number 4. I say Alabama deserved to be number 4. Yes, they deserve to be in the college football playoff. And the reason why, if you beat the number 1 team, you should be in the college football playoff. That's the bottom line. You can't say Georgia number 1, we're number 8, we beat Georgia, but then you also want to keep us at number 5. No, if you beat the number 1 team, which was the college football committee said that this right here was the best team in college football. So if I beat them, why don't I should be in the college football playoff? And that's the bottom line. But everybody's crying about the Florida State. Florida State wanted to be in the college football playoff. Florida State should have played better competition. Okay, yes, you beat LSU at the beginning of the season, but then you play Southern Miss, you play Boston College, Clemson having a down year. That hurted Florida State. Okay, Syracuse. Then you play against Duke. Duke was winning that game until they lost their quarterback. Okay, then that's the only other game you played. Wake Forest, Pitt, Miami, and who is this team? I don't even know who this team is. So basically, you play North Alabama. So you play against North Alabama. I seen Richard Sherman said that, only the SEC play against FCS school, but I guess North Alabama is not. So then you play Florida. You barely beat Florida. Okay, then you come out here against Louisville and you play against this Louisville team in which you beat them, but you only beat them 16-6. And we know that this Louisville team is a terrible team. Let's just be honest. And at the halftime, it was 7. It was basically 7. It was 3-0. So what the committee looked at for Florida State and what worked against Florida State was this. If Florida State comes out here and they actually beat this team, they beat this Louisville team, I say 30-6, they gets in. You're not going to tell me that this team doesn't get in. Okay? But if you come out here and you beat a bad Louisville team that's a terrible offense, in which your quarterback throws 55 yards, their quarterback throws 14 for 36, 111 yards. So it basically was a bad game on both. Your quarterback 8 for 21, 55 yards. So of course we can't let you in the college football playoff. And then if you look at it, like I said, if they beat Louisville 30-6, I think that me personally, I feel like Florida State gets in if they win the game 30-6. But because you win this game and you look terrible winning this game, oh my God, the defense. Yes, the defense was good, but you're playing against a bad quarterback. So how good is the defense? And like I said, the game was close. It was 10-3 going into the fourth quarter. So, and then at the beginning of the fourth quarter with 13 minutes to go, hell, it was 10-6. And if you don't remember, Florida State, Louisville was like at the 10-yard line, or inside the 10. It was like first and goal. The quarterback threw an interception in the end zone. So just think about it. If you take that away, it's already 10-6. Okay, if they get a touchdown on that, we're talking about a whole different ball game. Let's be honest. We're talking about this right here could have been a 13-13 game with 3 minutes to go. You see, and do we want to put this Florida State team in the college football playoff playing with a bad quarter? And honestly, I blame the head coach because you could have scored again and maybe make it 23, 24-16. Maybe the committee looks at it and be like, you know what? At least they put up 20 points. Okay, but you putting up 16 points in a really close game. It's hard to say that this right here is one of the 4 best teams when this right here is not one of the 4 best teams. Honestly, Georgia's better than them. I said it before and I say it again. Georgia is still a better team than Florida State. I take Georgia over them. I think Georgia is a better team than Texas. Let's just be honest. And to be honest, I would take Georgia over. I would take Georgia. The only team that I would say that could probably beat Georgia is Alabama. I said Georgia will probably beat Georgia will probably beat Texas. Georgia will probably beat Washington. They'll probably beat Michigan. The only team that I think that can beat this Georgia team, and to be honest, they play again. Honestly, Georgia could win the game. The turnovers kill Georgia. You know, bad play, injuries kill Georgia. So let's be honest. I'm not going to sit here and just be crying for Florida State. Yes, they're undefeated. They're 13-0. But at the end of the day, are they one of the 4 best teams? And I don't think they are. These are my 4 best teams in college football. I think that should deserve to be in the college football playoff. Michigan, Washington, Alabama, and Georgia. Those are the 4 best teams in college football. I don't think Texas is one of the 4 best teams. I don't care who they played against in week 2. Yes, they had a better game in week 2. But do I feel that they are one of the 4 best teams? I just don't feel like they are. So when I look at this Florida State team and I hear all the crying Florida State fans whining, oh my God, the BCS, they favor Alabama. Alabama's the better team right now than Florida State. You telling me that if Florida State go against Michigan, they have a chance? No, they don't. Do Alabama have a chance? Alabama have a very good chance against Michigan. So of course, the college football playoff committee got it right. I just think that I'm mad because Georgia didn't get in, because I think that Georgia is one of the 4 best teams in college football, and I hated that they won't get a chance because they lost one game. They won't get a chance to defend their title, and like I said, they've been, to me, one of the 2 dominant teams, the most dominant teams in college football all season, and because they had one bad Saturday, they won't get a chance to defend their title. And teams like Texas have a bad Saturday early in the season. And what? They get into the college football playoff. And I said, man, whoever win out of Alabama and Georgia probably gonna get in. And that's what the committee did. So Florida State fans, Richard Sherman, stop all the crying. Booger McFarland, stop all the crying, man. Y'all acting like we haven't seen this before. Like, I never seen so many grown men on TV crying the way these dudes are crying. Florida State deserve to be in. Florida State deserve to be in. Listen. It's the 4 best teams in college football. Is Florida State one of the 4 best teams? No, they're not. So I don't care about the 13-0 record. Hell, and then he's talking about Florida State. They beat everybody that they played. Yes, they did. They should have beat everybody. Because when we go back and we look at who Alabama played, Alabama had a way harder schedule. Strength of schedule was like the fourth ranked in strength of schedule. Florida State was like number 55. So that's on them. That's on them that they didn't schedule more competition, or the ACC had a down year. So when we look at Alabama, Alabama played against Texas. Okay, they skipped. I mean, then they play against USF, and then they play against Ole Miss. Ole Miss is in the top 15. Then they play. You play against a really good, hard Mississippi State team, Texas A&M, Arkansas, and then you play against Tennessee. Tennessee was ranked number 17. Okay, then you play against LSU. So, and then you play against Kentucky, in which Kentucky beat Louisville. Louisville was in the ACC championship game. Okay, so then you play against Chattanooga. Then you play a hard, tough game down there in Auburn, which is always like that. Then you beat the number 1 team in the nation, which is Georgia. So y'all are acting like Alabama didn't play nobody. And all these games right here is back to back. When did Florida State ever play a good team in back-to-back weeks? I'll wait on that. When did Michigan play a really good team in back-to-back weeks? When did Texas play a really good team? Hell, to be honest, Texas barely beat TCU. They barely beat Baylor. They was barely beating all those bad teams over there. They had needed overtime to beat some of these teams. So let's not act like Texas has been, but they're prison of the moment. Oh, they beat Oklahoma State 57 or 56 or whatever the score was to this score. And that's the reason why they're one of the 4 best teams. And because they beat Alabama September 9th, I think, which was week 2 in college football. So let's stop acting like this. I think the committee got it right. The committee got it right. They put in the 4 best teams, even though I think Georgia's one of the 4 best teams. I think this is as close as they could get, because they didn't want to put Georgia in, because it would really been controversy then if you put Georgia in there. But I think that a lot of these analysts is tired of the SEC winning, because they know that if you put an SEC school in there, chances are they got a high chance of winning the college football playoff national championship. And that is the reason. That's why I think the issue is, I think that a lot of these people are tired of the SEC being in the college football playoffs. And that's what, and I said it once and I'll say it again. That is what is going on. That is why the outrage. And it's only an outrage from Richard Sherman, Booger McFarland, and all the Michigan Wolverines fans that don't want Alabama to play against Michigan, and the people that's in Florida, the Florida fans, Florida State fans. So that is the only people that really got an outrage, and the people that don't know nothing about sports, the people that just be posting everything. So we don't care about those people. But the ones that actually, do Florida State deserve a chance, man, if it was a 6-team playoff, yes. But 14, they don't deserve it because they lost their quarterback. And I said, I'm gonna end it with this. I blame the coach. First of all, why you got your quarterback out here running around like he's fucking Michael Vick? No, he need to be sitting back in the back. And like I said, that ruined their season right then. That will ruin that season by you getting the quarterback hurt. Second reason why I say it's the coach's fault, because you had a chance to put another touchdown on the board, but no, you didn't want to do that. That's why the score looked like it did, 16-6. Now, like I said, if it's 23-6, 24-6, 30-6, I think the committee is having a different conversation. I think they may put Florida State in. So I blame the coach on top of the committee. They should have been changed this. So that's the thing that I feel. Like I said, Alabama deserved to be in. I'm happy that they got in. They are one of the 4 best teams in college football. It's from the SEC. Richard Sherman continue to cry, whine out on live TV. Yes, we don't care about all of that. Just continue to do it. We like it. We love to see it. And just so he understands that, the SEC is the cream of the crop when it comes to college football. You know that. You're saying that the SEC is overrated, but just look back at how many national championships that the SEC got. Let's look back. The last 20 years, right? We're going to look up the last. Last 20 years, college football champions, right? Let's just look back. And I'm just doing you a favor by saying the last 20 years. So let's just go back. So 22, it was Georgia. 21, it was Georgia. 20, it was Alabama. 19, it was LSU. 18, it was Clemson. 17, it was Alabama. 16, it was Clemson. 15, it was Alabama. 14 and 13, it was Ohio State and Florida State. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Oh, well, no, 6. All the way to 6. Okay? So I'm going to say it was Alabama, Auburn, Alabama, Florida, LSU, Florida. Those are, but that's Richard Sherman saying that the SEC is overrated. So you telling me, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 national championships in the last 20 years. 13, well, hell, it might be more than that. I'm just saying. So you're telling me 13 national championships out of 13, let's see, 14, 15, 16, 17. So 13 of the last 17 national champions have been from the SEC, but they're overrated. Make it make sense to me. If you're going to say something, yeah, we get it. You went to Stanford. We get it that you're smart. But if you're going to say something, make sure that you know what the hell you're talking about. Make sure you know the statistics when it comes down to who's the best conference in college football. Because obviously you didn't do your research. The last 17 national champions, 13 have come from the SEC. And let's just talk about, we're not going to even talk about the last 10. The last 10, almost most of those are from the SEC. So listen, stop. I get it. You from the Pac-12, and hell, the Pac-12 ain't going to never win another championship. I'm just being honest with you. Pac-12, you can call it Pac-10, Pac-12, Pac-16, don't matter. Okay, none of them ain't winning no national championship. So just pump your brakes a little bit and give the respect to the SEC. It's a very hard conference. It's a tough conference. Everybody know that. So of course you should put in a team from the Southeastern Conference. So we get it. You're mad. You're upset. But at the end of the day, I'm happy that they did this, y'all. And what y'all listen, man. Make sure y'all give me y'all feedback on what y'all think about these rankings. All right, give me y'all feedback on what y'all think about this segment. All right. And like I said, man, I'm gonna be tuning off. I'll be logging off for a while, maybe back a week. All right, but I'll be back. All right. And like I said, these right here are the college football playoff rankings. As you all know, like I said, number 1 is Michigan, number 2 Washington, number 3 Texas, and number 4 is Alabama. Alabama will play in Pasadena. Alabama will play against Michigan, the number 1 team in Pasadena, in the Rose Bowl. That's going to be a hell of a matchup. I will be making sure that I talk about it. What do I think is going to happen in this game? All right. And until next time, man, thank y'all again for listening to another great segment of the Real Untouchable Podcast with me, Ray Diz. Hey, make sure y'all hit the like button, the subscribe button, and also the share button. And at the end of the day, it's Roll Tide. Hey, Alabama is going for another national championship. Thank y'all again. The Real Untouchable Podcast. Peace.